And the next morning, Madame Ujaku is standing outside under the cold, cloudy winter sky. White puffs of air rise from her lips. "Thanks for waiting, madam." I call out to her as I make my way over to her side, crunching frost flowers underneath my feet. She turns toward me and flashes me a little smile when she hears my voice.
Shall we get going then, sir?
Sure. We pass through the crowds in front of the train station as we head for the cemetery in Yanaka. Madame Ujaku keeps reminiscing about Rin and Otaha as I nod along and listen. She talks about the good times, the happy times. She seems to have an endless supply of fond memories with both girls. Now that you mention it, the thought suddenly pops into my head when the topic of Otaha comes up. Have Koyuki and Sari not returned to the Yukishiro yet? Those two girls were Otaha's protégés. I haven't seen them at all lately.
Ah, those girls. When I peeked into their room earlier, I noticed all their belongings had vanished.
What?
They probably left. I had an inkling this would happen at some point, as they were never very enthusiastic about the work to begin with.
A fleeting look of sadness passes over her face. I see. I just nod along robotically, unable to come up with any words to comfort her. The graveyard at Yanaka is 2 stops down the line. Both of us clam up as we approach our target destination. When we reach Otaha and Rin's grave, we clean the stone with water and place flowers on it. Why this grave, madam?
I did this because they didn't have any relatives. I had them buried as members of my own family.
I can hear the sadness in Madame Ujaku's voice as she replies to my question. I see. I crouch down in front of the marker and place my hands together. The faint scent of burning incense wafts over from nearby. After we've finished paying our respects, the madam and I are on our way back to the Yukishiro when, suddenly, a light snow begins to fall. While we were standing in front of the grave, the madam reminisced fondly about the time she'd spent with both girls.
She was really attached to you, wasn't she?
Yeah. Since I made the Yukishiro my temporary home 1 year ago, Rin's cheerful personality had saved me from my frequent bouts of depression.
Sir, did you know this?
She suddenly directs a question at me.
You look exactly like her older brother. She was always telling me that with a smile on her face.
Rin had an older brother?
Yep. Their family was torn apart by the war, and they never saw each other again after that. Apparently, they were really close. Rin must have been heartbroken.
I see. Rin always had a cheerful grin on her face. She never showed that sadness on the outside.
She often told me that she loved the smile you make when you're embarrassed.
Huh?
You really resembled her brother when you smiled like that. But that was news to me since I only ever see you wearing a frown.
The madam turns to me with a sad smile.
You hear me, sir? You can't let this drag you down forever. That's not what she would have wanted, you know.
Yeah, I know. The feeling of loss makes my heart ache. Well, it's always been this way. I went off to war to protect my family, and when I came back, I became a police officer to uphold the law. However, I've never had the confidence to work toward protecting those who really deserve it. Tormented by my own powerlessness, I fled to the Yukishiro, but even then I wasn't... I wasn't able to protect those who were important to me.
Sir.
Madame Ujaku now wears an intense, serious look on her face.
Please tell me. Is this case closed? Will my girls be able to have peace of mind and pass on?
The madame's voice quavers slightly. Yeah. But is that really the truth? The seeds of doubt have already been planted deep inside my heart. However, don't you worry, madam. It's all over now. I can't find it in myself to answer any other way. Here I sit with 2 letters in front of me. One of them is from Nana. According to her, it's a message an old acquaintance of mine entrusted her to give to me.
It's been a long time since we've seen each other, Takashiro Shugo-sama. I could hardly contain my excitement upon learning you were Nana-san's older brother, which led to me writing you this letter. If you're free, I would like to meet you at noon, the day after tomorrow.
It's signed Ayasaki Takako. Ayasaki? The name sounds vaguely familiar. Something tells me she's connected to a case I worked on in the past. I wonder what she wants with me after all this time. Oh well, I guess I'll find out when I see her. Fortunately, I have free time then. I see no problems with meeting up. However, there's still one more letter. Toji came and dropped it off early this morning. As usual, it's short and to the point. Apparently, she had some information for me regarding the mistress affiliated with the Hand of Death. We're to meet up at the cafe at 5 p.m. New information. Will it be a new lead that will get us closer to finding Kohzuki Yura?
Come on, sir. Open wide.
Madame Ujaku giggles mischievously and sticks out her chopsticks at me. I can eat on my own, you know.
Oh, what are you talking about? You're injured, sir. Just shut up and do what I say.
But...
Do you find this too embarrassing, perhaps?
I'm in quite a fix. I know I'm too old to be fed like a child, but...
Come on, who cares? Nobody's looking.
However, she just chuckles and leans in close to me. Okay.
Say ah.
I suppose I have no choice but to put up with it.
Did you notice anything special, sir?
Huh? About what?
You're quite dense, aren't you? Come on, don't you think today's breakfast tastes different than usual?
Huh? What's she talking about? The menu itself hasn't strayed from the norm. There's grilled fish with fried tofu miso soup and bittersweet boiled taro with lotus root. In addition, we also have pickled eggplant and cabbage, as well as rice covered with dried sardines. It's simple, healthy fare, the kind of stuff you think of as mom's cooking.
You know, today, I helped out in the kitchen too.
I see. So this is your own cooking, madam?
Yep, that it is. Anyway, it's been quite a while since I held a knife in my hand. I'm kind of worried about how it tastes.
That's delicious. As good as the usual stuff I get. No, on the contrary, I think I like it better.
Seriously?
Madame Ujaku's face lights up with an expression of pride.
I'm happy to hear you say that, sir. It means my skills still haven't rusted away yet.
Well, I was kind of surprised. I didn't think you had this in you.
Well, it all goes back to a long, long time ago. I studied cooking like my life depended on it in order to please this guy that I liked.
I give her a half-hearted chuckle in reply. Honestly, I can't imagine the madam going all out like that. I get the impression that she's always been the dominant type, bossing men around and forcing them to make their own food and stuff.
Yeah, it's gotta be love.
Ignoring my rude mental image of her, the madam starts waxing hypothetical about cooking.
Cooking requires love. If you don't put time and effort into doing it, then it won't taste good. On that note, the youngsters these days just don't cut it. They can't even slice katsuobushi to save their lives.
Right.
Did you know that proper katsuobushi has a light coating of fungus growing on the surface? Our wise predecessors discovered that putting fungus on it would help to preserve the flavor.
Right.
But all the youngsters these days go, ew, gross, when they see the fungus and end up throwing it out.
Right.
That's unacceptable, you know, making such a basic mistake. In the first place, cooking is very much an art.
The madam's lecture
akin
about
to
cooking
fine
ends
art,
up dragging on
martial
until
art if you
noon.
prefer. Whenever I pick up a santoku,
And shortly after lunch, I arrive at our designated meeting place at roughly the correct time. So, why the hell are you here?
My, that's rather rude of you. Even though I'm swamped with things to do, I came all the way down here to see you guys because I was worried.
Does the phrase, mind your own business, ring any bells?
Come on, Shugo. Was that an attempt at sarcasm? That was horrible. You were way too blatant. I can read you like a book.
Excuse me.
However, if you so desire, I don't mind giving you the full explanation of how the phrase, mind your own business, came into existence.
No, you're demonstrating right now that you don't know what the phrase means.
What a fool you are, Shugo. This superficial knowledge you speak of is undeniably different from what we refer to as practical information.
Excuse me.
Even though you're pumped up about collecting knowledge inside that brain of yours, it never has any practical application. I suppose there's no helping that.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. You're just saying the first thing that comes to mind. If that's the case, then you're...
Excuse me.
And Nana and I proceed to argue on and on and on. 15 minutes later, I introduce myself to Ayasaki Takako once again.
It's been so long, Takashiro Shugo-sama.
Yeah, it has. When she bows to me, her golden hair flows down the nape of her neck and shines glossily as it catches the sun. Seeing that hair brings the memories flooding back inside my head. It all happened shortly after I had become a detective. It was a murder case in Izumo regarding a family inheritance. My duty was to protect the third daughter of the Ayasaki family, the one who possessed the inheritance rights, Ayasaki Takako.
I'm so glad that I was finally able to properly introduce myself to you, Shugo-sama.
She beams back at me. Well, that aside, I can't believe that little girl grew up to be such a beautiful young lady. I'm really sorry about earlier. I let myself get riled up by Nana. I didn't mean to ignore you, Ayasaki-san.
No need to apologize. Please, don't worry about it.
Takako waves her hand around in rebuttal. She's the sheltered type who has a calm, gentle disposition. Yeah, thanks.
Besides, I was kind of jealous of how well you guys were getting along with each other.
No, we don't get along at all.
Seriously?
How cruel of you, Shugo. It hurts me when you flat out deny it like that. Takako-kun, don't let yourself be tricked by him. Shugo's just embarrassed. Let me tell you how things really are. Shugo and I have transgressed beyond brother and sister. We engage in acts of forbidden love.
Oh my, truly?
No, she's lying. The truth is, I've given some serious thought to the prospect of severing all my ties with this little brat.
Takako-kun, this is how Shugo expresses his love. Generally speaking, men are creatures that find it difficult to be honest.
Oh my, truly?
I told you, she's lying! Normally, I'd be a bit suspicious at this point. Surely there's a limit to her naivete, even if she happens to be the daughter of the powerful Ayasaki family. Anyway, Nana, having you around just complicates things. Buzz off, will ya?
Oh, no, Shugo. You're asking me to do the impossible. I have my duties as your little sister, you know. I can't just stand idly by and watch as my brother's chastity is threatened.
Huh? Chastity? What the hell kind of strange things is she spewing out?
This is kinda a secret, but...
Nana lowers her voice and points toward Takako.
The truth is, Takako-kun's pretty horny.
My eyes are involuntarily drawn to Takako's face.
Oh my, Nana-san, you're embarrassing me.
Even though Nana said something absolutely outrageous, Takako doesn't seem to mind much at all. She blushes slightly and giggles. Are spoiled rich girls all like this? Whoa, this is not the time to be impressed. Nana, aren't you being rude? You need to apologize to Ayasaki-san right this instant.
Sheesh, if I do that, then you won't face the facts. Whatever, that doesn't change how things really are.
Nana cocks her head toward me sadly.
Takako-kun's such a dirty girl.
Oh my, Nana-san.
Sheesh, at least deny it. There's gotta be some basis for this if you keep saying it, right?
Yup, glad you asked.
After nodding at me, Nana launches into her story, completely oblivious to the fact that she should be leaving right about now.
It all happened 3 months ago. One day, after school, I was walking down the hallway with a magazine in hand, about to head on home.
Oh, Nana-san, what's that you're so absorbed in?
Hey there, Takako-kun. You mean this? It's the newest issue of a literary magazine that went on sale this week. The High School Girl's Companion.
Oh, really?
Actually, this publication mainly deals with forbidden love affairs between female classmates. I looked it over because I was curious, but I'm not quite sure I understand what they're talking about.
Oh my, Nana-san.
Ah, One-sama, forgive me. Yumi's voice turned into a shrill whisper as she begged for mercy from Sachiko. However, Sachiko did not cease her cruel yet tender caresses. There's nothing to be afraid of, Yumi. Just leave it all to me. I'll be gentle.
Oh my.
At long last, Sachiko's fingertips brushed against Yumi's sensitive button. There was a lewd noise as warm honey flowed out from between Yumi's petals. Oh, One-sama. Unable to bear it any longer, Yumi screamed as she dug her nails into Sachiko's back.
Oh my, how exciting.
How'd you feel after listening to that excerpt, Takako-kun?
Oh, come now, Nana-san. It's so embarrassing. I couldn't possibly tell you.
Oh, I see that you were able to understand it, Takako-kun. I'm jealous. I feel like there's something faulty with the way I perceive things.
Oh, is that so?
Wait. Hold on just 1 second. Takashiro Nana, it's too early to give up. I might be able to obtain some insight if I try it out myself. There's no better way to learn than by doing. It looks like I'm going to have to cross the Rubicon here. Righto, Takako-kun, come with me.
Oh?
And that's how I ended up leading Takako-kun into an empty classroom. Are you ready, Takako-kun?
Oh my, I'm so nervous.
I slid my fingers between her thighs and touched the area inside her skirt.
Nana-san, forgive me.
However, I did not cease my cruel yet tender caresses. There's nothing to be afraid of, Takako-kun. Just leave it all to me. I'll be gentle. My slender white fingers burrowed their way into her underwear. There was a lewd noise as warm honey flowed out from between Takako-kun's petals.
Oh, Nana-san.
Unable to bear it any longer, Takako-kun screamed as she dug her nails into my back. I suppose you could just chalk it all up to extreme youthful indiscretion.
Wasn't the entire thing Nana's doing? I silently curse my abomination of a little sister.
However, there's one problem with this. Takako-kun's reaction to this experiment was a lot more intense than I had expected.
Oh, come now, Nana-san. You can't be saying things like that in front of Shugo-sama.
She blushes in embarrassment. Birds of a feather flock together. These two are pretty much the living embodiment of that saying.
Don't you think it's strange as well, Shugo? I didn't feel a damn thing, even though we swapped roles and tried a bunch of different things. Seeing how seriously I'm taking the whole matter, I can only conclude that Takako-kun is simply horny.
How should I put this? You girls are both kind of weird. As we continue our pointless discussion, my appointed meeting time with Toji draws near.
Oh, leaving already, Shugo? On one hand, I'm relieved that my relationship with Takako-kun hasn't progressed, but on the other hand, I'm also somewhat sad. Well, I'm still a shining example of a pure-hearted maiden. I'm torn between my feelings of love and friendship. How troubling. It looks like I won't be getting any sleep tonight.
Oh, give it a rest, Nana. I give her a light bonk on the noggin.
Oh my.
Ayasaki-san, you should pick some better friends. All joking aside, my little sister is really weird. Though speaking of being weird, I suppose Takako falls into that category as well.
Not at all. Nana-san is one of my most precious friends.
Right. Oh well, it's not like I can force her to sever her relationship with Nana.
Oh, what a tearjerker this has turned out to be. Takako-kun doesn't betray me even when you criticize me for who I am. I suppose I should call someone like her a true friend, huh?
I can hear the emotion in Nana's voice. It's strange to hear my little sister saying something like that. Coming from her, it just sounds like a lie.
Are you really leaving, Shugo-sama?
Yeah, I have an appointment I can't skip out on. I apologize for not being able to have a fulfilling conversation, even though it's been so long since we've last seen each other. Well, most of the blame for that lies with Nana. After hearing me out, Takako abruptly turns to me with a serious look on her face and says,
Oh, that's too bad. I wanted to talk to you about our promise.
Promise?
How about we meet again tomorrow, Shugo-sama? If you have free time, we can chat about it at our leisure.
Tomorrow? Let's see. I don't believe I have any special plans scheduled for tomorrow. Sure, I don't mind. Let's do it.
Oh, really?
Hold it! Do you really think I'd let you two do something shameless like meeting up and hanging out together?
I clamp my hand over Nana's mouth. I use a piece of rope sitting nearby to tie her up, then toss her back onto school grounds. Now we can talk in peace.
Oh my, Shugo-sama.
After conferring with Takako about our plans tomorrow, I head off to meet with Toji.
Project.
A martial art if you prefer. Whenever I pick up a santoku, it does remind me some of my days studying kobudo. However, a proper chef must have full knowledge of each of her ingredients, understanding them as she would an enemy. But rather than analyzing your ingredients for their weak points, you must analyze them for how best to bring out the flavor.